This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and welcome to another Performance Gears comparison, where we're going to be looking at the Under Armour basketball lineup for 2019 and kind of Under Armour basketball as a whole. So I don't own every single Under Armour basketball shoe. Some of the key shoes that I don't have that people have enjoyed are the Under Armour Jet. I think the Rocket is one, as well as some of the new Havoc version 1 and version 2 with the Hover Havoc in either one of those. So Under Armour has a decent lineup, and the reason I wanted to do this video is, one, to draw attention to some other brands other than, say, Nike and Adidas and maybe Jordan. So Under Armour has a lot of good things going for them. They have some really quality products, and one, give you some options, and two, if you're going to a school that's sponsored by Under Armour, whether that be a high school or college, and you're forced to use Under Armour, a lot of times that's new for you guys, whether it's guys, girls, whatever age you are. So hopefully this gives you some insight in what your options are. So a lot of the shoes are very similar, I gotta tell you, and it's in a good way. So there's nothing negative here. As you can see behind me, I have the Under Armour Anatomics Low, the new one. I do have the original right here, in case you guys are wondering. The Curry 6, the 302, and the 303. You guys can kind of see those right behind me, as well as the Curry 5, which I have pretty much all the Curry line. The 30 line, I have obviously the 2 and the 3. The 1 didn't quite like. So I have some decent experience with Under Armour, but really just wanted to go through the differences, similarities, and break it down to give you guys an idea if it's something that may work for you. Now, let's start off with the cushion. Under Armour's base cushion is just an EVA. The Curry 5 is the version that I guess I was most comfortable with, and it's nothing special. This is a base foam. Don't expect much. The impact protection is okay, not great. There's no bounce back or energy return or rebound. This is something that simply gets the job done. It's very court feel based. Maybe is it lighter? Honestly, underfoot you can't really tell, but this is the kind of cushion that works really well with our Velocity cushion, simply because you have a really firm shoe that's really court feel based and I still enjoy, but you throw a Velocity cushion in there and it totally changes the shoe. It's like giving yourself a max cushion shoe. Now, for this specific shoe, I'm not going to do a full review, but just wanted to give you guys an idea. You can really change how these shoes feel by simply adding our Velocity cushion. So this is your base EVA foam that you're going to see in some other shoes that Under Armour does. So if you just see EVA, you're getting something that's really just plain Jane, nothing special. You kind of get what you pay for, but there's going to be some good sides, so stick with me. The next step above that is their MicroG. Now this is the 303, really weird name. Now this is using a new version of MicroG that is nowhere near as what is good used on this. Now, original MicroG definitely had a little bit nicer of a bounce to it, a little more rebound as far as energy return. Definitely feels a little bit lighter. So pretty much a whole different compound. The MicroG used nowadays is almost like the base foam. This feels very similar to what Nike does with their Phylon, where it's nothing great, but it's definitely, in my opinion, a step above, say, the Greek Freak 1. I'm trying to think. It's not quite as good as Adidas Bounce, so it is an upgrade, but it's not amazing. Now this is what they use as a carrier for some other cushions that they use, whether that be Hover or Charge, and we'll get to that in a second. So the MicroG on here is also going to be used in combination with Hover on the next Curry 7, as was just leaked. So this is something to keep in mind. If you see MicroG, it definitely is a little bit of a step up. This does have a little bit better impact protection. This has minimal bounce, if any. It's going to be tough to tell. And again, this is coming from someone who's about 240 pounds. So my feel of the cushion is going to be a little different, but I always want to do it in comparison. This cushion is something that a lot of players still really enjoy. Someone I follow, Shaden Souls, really enjoyed this cushion, but I have almost 100 pounds on him. So to give you guys an idea, so if you're lighter weight, this is something you can still definitely really enjoy. All right, the next step up, and something that is kind of being faded away, I'm not sure, is going to be your charge cushion. Now this is the 302, and this is something that had MicroG with a charged cushion in the heel and the forefoot, I believe. But anyway, I found this a lot more comfortable than I did the MicroG alone used on the 303. I also really like the fit on this one. This is just a fantastic sleeper that you're going to be able to find at really good prices. You can take a look at that traction here, and we'll get to that in a moment. But charge cushioning is going to be a little bit softer than MicroG, and on hard push-offs, when you're accelerating, it is something that is supposed to kind of firm up so you don't lose a step, and it kind of does act that way. Essentially, it's a foam that is on the softer side, so as you push, it compresses, so it allows you to compress down and keep going forward. So there's pretty much no bounce to it, but it does give a little bit of a smoother ride. That's your charge cushioning if you ever see that on a shoe. And finally, you have hover cushioning. This is their premier or top-of-the-line cushioning that Under Armour uses, and hover cushioning is very unique in the fact that depending how Under Armour engineers it from shoe to shoe, it literally can feel any which way. So if you had a great experience with a shoe that has hover cushioning, that's great. That's good for you. Your next shoe may not be as good. If you had a bad experience where you bought a shoe with hover and you were disappointed, don't let that soil you, because another shoe might be really good at it. Essentially, hover cushioning gives the ability Under Armour to really fine-tune however they want the cushioning to feel, which is really cool. They can make it bouncy, they can make it kind of mushy and squishy, or they can make it, in this case, actually really firm. This is a quick court feel based cushioning shoe, and if you kind of been paying attention the whole time, all of Under Armour's cushioning are court feel based options. You're not really getting a high cushion setup. Now the charge cushioning is a smidge more plush than the rest as far as having a little more impact protection, but the hover cushioning is one, firmer than the charge, so it gives you a little bit more court feel, you feel a bit faster, but it also is a really good job of absorbing impact, which is really cool. It's a very weird sensation where you feel fast, you feel like this is something that's close to the ground, you push off, nothing is slowing you down, but on hard landings, when you go up for a rebound, when you come down from a jump shot, when you're running the court full sprint, this has a little bit of bounce, which is actually more than a MicroG, and actually does a great job just alleviating that impact on your knees, on your back. So this is a premier cushion, but hopefully you've noticed kind of a trend through all the shoes. All of Under Armour shoes are going to be court feel based. If you're looking for something with a little more impact protection or a little bit more energy return, some bounce, you're not going to find it in the Under Armour line. In that case, honestly, all of the Under Armour shoes work really well with our Velocity insole. So this is something you really might want to consider, especially if one, you're a bigger player, two, you're looking for that energy return, or three, let's say one, you're forced to do it, or either you find a great deal, get the shoe, because Under Armour shoes, and we'll go into the fit right away here, at least these four pairs right now in the last few years, the Anatomix Low I was able to do a size 12, my Curry 6 I was able to do a size 12, and the 302 I was able to do a size 12. I'm a 12 wide, I usually have to do a 12 and a half, which is what I had to do in the 303, and the older shoes I had to do a 13. My point being is, one, they're going to be wide foot friendly, two, they do a great job on fit, and you can find one that fits you. The materials I really enjoy Under Armour just because they always change it up from shoe to shoe. You have something like Anafoam, which they used on this shoe. You have something like that kind of a neoprene they use on the 302. You have a full knit used on the Curry 6. So they have all these materials that you may or may not like, but you have those options to try it on, see works well with your foot and your shape. That being said, a lot of players find really good fit with an Under Armour shoe, and they stick with it. We had a subscriber who just commented saying, hey, he loves his Under Armour Jet, and he did buy the Jet because they fit him so well. Get it. And going into that, so if you find a good fit, that's the number one thing of a shoe. The second top thing of a shoe is traction. Let me just go through these one by one. Traction here, especially in the solid pattern, really good. In the Curry 6, really good. Maybe if people had some issues with durability, but performance is fantastic. Herringbone, it's really good, and it's super durable. I mean, come on, look at this. It's every way direction. It's really good. Now, this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but it still was amazing. You have traction on every single one of these pairs, with the standout, I think, being anatomics, because this actually kind of has that fingerprint Kobe 9 kind of vibe, and this one probably had the best traction of the bunch, which blew me away, as well as having just an upper that is really nice. This had the least cushion, and this was MicroG as well, slightly less cushion than even the version 3 of the SZ, and this is one I also use. Our velocity cushion, don't want to cheat here, but with that cushion added, I'm getting a fit that is fantastic. I'm getting traction that's unbelievable. The only downside, I think, to this shoe was some people had durability issues. Even then, this is something you're able to find at a really good deal. So in all these pairs, you're getting something that you're gonna be able to find a good fit, something you're gonna have really good traction. All of them are gonna have kind of court feel based, and I don't want to do a review on each one and kind of break down kind of the nuances, but you're gonna find the Under Armour basketball lineup is very consistent. I haven't really found one that's a drastic departure from the same formula that they follow no matter what shoe you get. Whether you want to look at the new Hover Havoc 2, which again is like playing in a mid-top version of a Curry 6 with good traction, almost the same cushion. If you look at the Havoc 1, that was one that had even less cushion but great traction, and people enjoy the way that fit on their foot. I didn't like the fit on my foot, but at the same time, I was able to get something very similar in any one of these shoes. So Under Armour is going to give you, one, overall really good traction, two, different options for you to find the fit that you enjoy with different materials, whether it's lows, highs, they have you covered, and three, they're all going to be court feel, fast-based playing shoes that all work really well with our velocity cushion. And four, honestly, a lot of these you're able to get some good deals on, whether it's the Under Armour outlet where they always have, 40% off plus, whether you find it at a Ross or a Marshall. Don't be afraid of trying an Under Armour shoe. If you see one, you try it on and the fit is great. They do a really good job. They're very consistent. And I just want to give them the shout out because I've enjoyed playing with them. But honestly, from my experience, from all of these shoes, they're just very consistent and they do what they do really well. Well, guys, girls, if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down to the channel below. If you have any questions or if I missed anything, please let me know. I'm happy to comment, make edits, learn something new. If you found an Under Armour shoe that contradicts what I said, which hopefully I didn't say anything negative, but it's just kind of stating what they are and who they're for. As always, really appreciate you guys. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears, and I'll come at you later.